very polite.
Okay, I'm letting them in.
Thank you.
I can just hang around.
Woo! So excited to see everybody. Some people we haven't seen in a long time. There we are, Nikki Kamenetsky. She's come back. So nice. Some of my younger choir people might remember Nikki. Yeah. Nikki Pass on too.
Am I muted?
Fisher. So awesome. Hi, Sid.
We got, hey guys.
That's Steve Ayer.
Hi,
What?
everybody.
Rebecca Matthews' hair. Love the curls. Fun. We haven't seen each other in a long time, so it's really nice.
You're shorter. You look great.
Yeah, I'm working on the color here, so I went super short today. By high holidays, it'll be just right. Hi guys, what a great group.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, Stacy Schwartz, our president. It's so nice to have you.
Hello, how are you?
So awesome.
Robin Sates, how are you?
Hello. Hi, everyone.
I haven't seen you in a God knows how long.
Dog's age. That's what happens when you go to the Cape for a long time.
How's your sister-in-law holding up? She okay?
She's doing all right. Thanks for asking.
Okay, good.
We look good. We should just make a music video right now.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll sound great.
Yeah. Oh, Ariel will fix everything.
Anne, I want to go to where your background is.
Oh, it's so nice. I bought a beach and it's like only me here all the time. Fabulous.
Bev Cohen got on, yes.
What does the beach go for?
A lot. We're gonna give a couple more minutes because we have, I know a few people aren't coming, but I'm gonna maybe do a couple more people to come in and then we'll start the meeting. I have Ariel up there and he's up on my top screen. I don't know where he is for you, but can you see the guy who looks very official with the microphone in the corner? He's our producer and he's with us tonight. So I'm gonna introduce you in a minute to him.
He does look very official.
Very official. He looks very official.
Nice going.
Thank you. I try, I guess.
Susan, it's Carolyn. I am going to be on, but on my phone. So I'm going to turn my, because I'm going to be moving. So I'm going to turn my sound and my video off. Okay. But I'm here. Listening.
That's totally fine. Okay. No problem. I'm just so
happy. Carolyn, we started and ended our day together.
I know. We're going on the boat. Susan, we're at Winnipesaukee.
We'll be there next week. I hope you'll be there. So Carolyn, I know is also on, but I wanted to tell you a little bit of Temple Beth Avoda trivia. The Carolyn's mom, Jane, sat next to in the same row with my mom in the Temple choir for many, many, many years.
Yeah.
And so we were part of that group of people that would sit on that side. You know where the ramp is now, that used to be the choir area. So there were all the families who had members in the choir, including the you guys. Well, the Millanders were there too.
Yeah. And the Silvers.
Yeah.
And the Silvers. And they had those beautiful mustard yellow robes.
Yes, so it's and Susan Fisher's mom also. So we have a lot of and
Nana too.
And your grandmother, right? This is the third generation.
Oh, great.
Crazy. I'm very excited, Susan. Thanks for saying that. I love it.
It was really special. I think that we have a great amount of people. So we're gonna officially begin the meeting. And first of all, I just want to welcome you all to the Temple Beth Avodah virtual choir. And some of you might think that Jamie, who's here, so you can all go, ah! You can don't put yourself on, take yourself off of mute for a second and just go, like, make some noise. Ah!
Yeah, we know.
And this is why we have to have a virtual choir, because we can't sing on Zoom. And sadly, we can't sing together. I think this is one of the hardest parts about this whole quarantine, this whole COVID is we just can't sing together. There's just too many aerosols going in the air. I've heard from my doctor that singing is like is as dangerous as being in a karaoke bar. So we're trying to figure out other ways that we can bring music for ourselves, that we'll feel just so glad to be together and hear harmonies, and also so that the synagogue can see us singing, and you'll get to see yourself during the high holidays. It's not perfect, but in a way it's a little silver lining to make some cool music videos. And essentially what we're doing are making cool music videos. And so we're going to be making 2 videos. One, I'm going to call it Video 101, and that's Avinu Malkeinu, all in unison. We're just going to sing that. You probably heard the track. It's very simple. ABA, we sing it, we do the second part, we go back to the first part, and we go out. It's a very simple one. And then we're also singing We Return. And if you haven't yet clicked on the video track, one of the little treats is that because Noah Aronson, who wrote this song, is actually able to be in, say, 100 different congregations at the same time this year, he offered to do the vocal track for the We Return. And he also sent a video today. So we'll be singing with Noah during the high holidays. And that was really great. It was fun working with him to create it. And at this point, I'd like to share with you this great guy who's next to me in the top box. If you could wave Ariel, some of you met him. Oh, and I see Jamie Saltland down below. Do you see Jamie? That really is his lake. I don't think that's a virtual background. Yes, so beautiful.
I don't think I'm gonna sing now. I don't know.
So, okay, so I'm going to introduce Ariel, who's going to kind of give us a basic 101 in how to make a virtual choir. But I do want to warn everybody that everybody already got everything they need to do a virtual choir. If you just clicked on the instruction sheet and you follow it line by line, we really don't need Ariel here tonight. And he's really doing us a favor because he's a teacher at our school and we love him, but to come on, he doesn't go on everybody's choirs to do this.
Nope, this is my only one that I've done.
So so he's coming on, but there's no reason why every single person here cannot do this on their own. But we're gonna give an extra layer of safety measures that you'll be really comfortable after Ariel finishes. So I'm handing over the meeting to you for a little bit.
Sure. So hi, everyone. Welcome to this meeting. This is actually, I'm really excited to give this talk because I haven't actually done so much of instruction on how to do it. I've sort of learned how to do it on my own. And when I was first trying to do these virtual choirs, I thought there was so much production that each person has to do and it's all this work. And the answer is, it can be. It very much can be, but it also doesn't have to be. And there's really easy ways of getting us all to sing together in a beautiful space and a beautiful video with very, very little resources and something that everyone has for the most part, which is a computer or some sort of device, and then a phone or another device. So 2 devices. And even with that, you can do it in one device, but I find the easiest way to do these projects are with 2 devices. And because smartphones and iPhones have so good recording quality compared to what phones used to have, the sound quality that you can get is actually pretty high quality. It's not professional. It's not like using a professional microphone, but it's still really, really good. And we can achieve pretty good results, not studio results, but good results with some time and some care to make you sound really good and to make this project and all these projects really special. And I think that's going to be something really sweet for the high holidays. And I'm really happy to help out. And this has been an exciting time for me because I've been able to practice and utilize all my production skills that I hadn't been able to. And I know that it stinks, and this is very much a supplement. We miss singing together. We really do. And we're all very excited for the day when we can actually sing together and make music in real time together. And this is a supplement. However, this will be a very nice supplement, and I'm excited to do this. So I guess we can get started with the instructions, and I'll walk you through it. And I think someone will be sharing those instructions, and I'll just follow along. I can also share them if you prefer, but it doesn't matter.
So Eileen is actually going to share the same exact instructions that you got in the mail, not the song map, but yeah, that one. And just so everybody knows, we're going to review the songs after Ariel finishes.
Yes.
Okay.
So the video demonstration, that link above, that is basically exactly what I'm going to do right now. So you can view that afterwards. That one's a little bit more fast-paced, but you can slow it down, you can click, and I'll just do the whole thing here, and I'll give you even more in-depth understanding for how to do this. So it starts out, hold on, my screen did something weird. One moment. Okay, so it starts out with your phone and then a computer. And the reason I like to have separate devices is because in my very first video that I did with Zamir Corral, there were a lot of issues with people trying to take the listening thing that they were given, so a guide track. So you're going to be given a song to listen to in your ears, like Avinu Malkeinu or We Return, and you're going to be listening to it, and it's going to be very confusing to switch between listening to something and having that MP3 file, that video or audio file that you'll be listening to, and also recording. It's 2 steps. You got to listen to one, and you got to record yourself doing it on the other. And the 2 devices is nice because you just assign them roles. My phone, you're going to be the one taking the video. The computer, you're going to be the one that's going to play the music for me. And if you keep it separate like that, you're going to get the best results, and you'll hopefully be the least confused. Doesn't mean you can't do it with one device, but this is a really, really good way, and this is the way that I do it. So you have a camera, second device, headphones. So these headphones are nice for recording in the studio, and maybe if you want to have that like recording studio look, that's good. But what I see that also looks really nice for these videos is people who have like either AirPods or just one headphone into one ear. That kind of looks also really good. And for videos like these, we want to probably draw not so much attention to like clunky headphones. So I would recommend if you have either just normal headphones and put one in your ear, or if you have an AirPod, that looks the best. If you just have a single AirPod listening to it, that looks really good. It looks really inconspicuous, and it really makes it seem like you're just singing along straight through. There are other ways to do it as well that actually completely eliminate you even having to do headphones, and that involves a much more lengthy process that we will not go into. Did the instructions disappear, or am I just not seeing them? Because I was going to just go down the
I
list.
think they disappeared.
I took them off while you were showing your devices. I'll put it back.
Got it. Cool. Okay, let's go back to that. Thank you. So yeah, things that seem really intuitive are actually really easy to forget, like smiling and dressing nicely. Those things are really important, and what I've seen in a lot of these videos is because people are so nervous about the technology and maybe they don't know the music so well, they forget the most important thing, which is you're going to be viewed on a video for a bunch of people. You should look nice and you should smile, because smiling is a great way to look nice on camera. So it seems intuitive to do that on your own, but it's important that we remind you to do that. Dressing nicely, that's great. Whatever, and then Susan, whatever your dress code is, every video has a different dress code because people want different things. So I would say dress nicely is a pretty smart decision. So setting up your recording space. So first things first, this room that I'm in right now is not really a good space. You can kind of see the lights in the back. You see up there, there's all these lights you can show my video right now if you want. So there's all these lights kind of shining through right now. When I was first starting out making videos, I was recording right here because I didn't think anyone cared or mattered. But it actually does matter, because if you don't have these lights shining on, if you kind of have the lights sort of coming into you so that it shines on your face but doesn't shine from the back, it looks a whole lot nicer, and it will really bring up the production quality of the video. And that's the thing with these videos. Because it's coming from you, each of you are making the recording on your own. The video will look nicer if everyone decides I'm going to make it look nice, and we follow these easy steps. So we can go back to the instructions, and it's just important to note, don't ever have light come shining down like this. And artificial lighting can be good when you do it in a really controlled way, but sometimes natural lighting looks really nice. Record in a quiet place. That's really good, and obviously you can do it with a wall without any distractions in the back. That also looks really nice. I've also seen some really good videos of people showcasing their studio or their nice living room. Those also look nice too, but maybe For the choir members, it will probably be simple enough to just have a simple plain background. Recording in a quiet place, so yeah, turn off AC. I know it's tough because it's been really, really hot lately, but turning off AC will give you a much better sound quality, especially on your phone. It doesn't handle that so well. You want to make sure it's a really, really quiet space. So I already talked about making sure your light is brightly lit from the front and not from the back, like this video. It's kind of nice. I didn't even plan to have this room as a tool to show you what not to do, but here I am in a room that's bad for lighting. So yeah, this is a big thing, and this is something that I failed to tell people when I was first starting. Was it's really important to have a horizontal video as opposed to vertical video. And the reason is because when you actually put a vertical video into any sort of video software that's not your phone, it has all these black sides on it, and it looks really bad. And of course, we say, well, can I just fill it in with all these horizontal, vertical videos? And the answer is you can, but horizontal is so much more better for especially when we're doing these kind of things in boxes. It's much easier to scale down a horizontal video to really capture the full image of what you're showcasing. So vertical video doesn't do such a good job. And when some people do vertical videos and other people do horizontal videos, that gets really challenging. Because then you have to play all sorts of Tetris. And Tetris is fun when it's a game of Tetris, but not when you're trying to make a video. So something to remember. Okay, it is time to record. And I love these instructions. It just says time to record. These instructions were made with the help of one of my earlier cantors that I worked with, Cantor Leon Scher. He wrote Heal Us Now. Maybe you've heard of him, but he actually helped me with these instructions. So, because my instructions were good, but they were missing some important things like smiling, which I'm important he brought up. I'm glad he brought up.
I also added the things like put on a little lipstick and there are a couple items that I thought that just kind of you needed the feminine touch to it.
Absolutely, and thank you for that because I didn't.
Can I ask a quick question before you go on, Ariel?
Sure.
Recording. Okay, so the whole thing about choose a plain background with as little distractions, I kind of took that a little bit too anal retentively because I'm anal retentive, I guess. And so when I did the one, I was kind of going crazy finding a blank wall, and I took down like a framed picture, and I was like standing on a stool, and I was making sure it was completely blank behind me. And now I'm realizing that was probably a little bit much. So maybe if someone else out there is just as crazy as me, do you want to just clarify and give some permission that I did not need to do that?
You do not need to do that. I mean, if I was producing this video and this video alone, and I was saying, my mission is to have all the choir members have a gray background, then that's one thing, and maybe I'd be a little bit more cautious about that, more demanding for you to be using a plain background. But it doesn't really matter. It just brings the attention towards you as a singer, which is all we're trying to do. We don't want to have anything distracting in the background that's going to draw people's attentions away from your singing, which is the most important part of the video. So that's all I have to say about that.
I'm going to add one thing to that, everybody, is because we have over 30 people singing, the idea of going with a basic plain background is probably the way I'd like it to be. Like, I know Anne has done some of the smaller videos with me, and you just had that pretty print behind you. That would be fine. You had like a tapestry behind you. I would just try to avoid all the bookshelves and all the other stuff, like not too busy. So if you can't go plain, I mean, it's fine to be in a corner because I saw that as well, but more to the plain. If there's a little picture on the wall, that's fine. But again, we want to look at your faces and not all the stuff. And with 30 people and stuff, it's going to look really busy. So that's going to be, it's particularly on the ones that we're doing with everybody.
Sure.
Okay, just adding that.
So now that we're all ready to record, this part might be the most confusing, although I'll do my best to explain exactly what's happening. When you get there, you have all the things set up, everything's ready, you're ready to go, you're looking nice, you're excited to sing the music. So let's go through this. I'll go through this really carefully, and I'm happy to repeat this process because it can get confusing, especially when there's multiple devices involved. I totally understand how that can be confusing. So the first thing you're going to do is download your guide track on your computer. So just any way to get it to play. So Susan, you've already prepared, I'm assuming, places for them to be able to find like where they're downloading these guide tracks. Is that correct? You're muted. Just
you know, everybody can put it wherever you want. I mean, honestly, you can play it right off the email that you got from Eileen. It really doesn't matter as long as you have access to it. You're only going to need it for those few minutes that you're going to be singing the song.
Great,
If
and you
wanna
answered my
drag it-
question.
If you want to drag it into your computer, or I'm just saying, if you want to have it forever, then you should save it on your computer. But it's really fine just to have it in the email too.
Yeah, and just make sure it can play. It doesn't matter
Make
where it
sure
is.
it can play and that you can find it. So just wherever it is, figure out where I'm going to save these songs.
Yes, and somewhere that you can find it quickly. And the reason I like to download everything is because I don't like to use email as a storage system. So if someone emails you something, I don't want to be like, oh yeah, they sent me something in email, let me type it in. I don't like that. I always personally like to have things separately on my computer for me to be able to find on my own files, but everyone is different, and you don't, as long as you can access the song, that's fine. So we can go back to the instructions. I'll keep going. So you have your listening track, ready to go. Practice. I love that. Yeah, don't go into it blind, because I've seen that before, and it's like, well, you don't really know what you're doing, and you're staring at the music. And something that's interesting, so you have all these arrangements, right, Susan? Things that people are going to be looking at. So this part is where it might get challenging. What I would personally do, if you're already confused with technology and switching between things is difficult for you, I would print them out with a music stand. Me personally, I don't need to print it out. I could easily just like change my tab and have it on one tab on my computer and have the other on the other. But I've been doing this for a long time. I'm good at working with lots of files at once. And I think the best way and the most old-fashioned, wholesome way is to just print out all the music, put it on a music stand or on somewhere that you can see it, so that you don't have to worry about that. But yes, you should practice regardless, because you don't want to be seen as the person who's looking down the whole time or clearly looking at their music if your music's eye high. So yes, practice. Plug in your headphones, and don't plug in your headphones into your phone unless that's your place where your audio is. But I always say use your computer for the guide track. So your headphones should go right into your computer. Just plug it right in. Have it all set up so that, and test it ahead of time too. That's not on here, but you should just test it ahead of time. Don't get everything set up, get ready to record, hit your record button, and then you click play, and then your volume is off, and you're like, what's happening? And you get all frantic. Just test your audio ahead of time, making sure that it works, and before you even record. So that's a good thing to do. Next, after you do all that, so you have your computer set up, you have your audio all ready to go, you have your headphones, we're rolling, we're doing really well. Then take your phone and put it in landscape mode like we talked about. So this is landscape mode. And something I've also seen is people will hit, so I'm gonna open my camera up. People will hit record for their video. So people will hit record like this and then turn it like that. So this is actually still in portrait mode, just sideways. This is not horizontal mode. Horizontal mode is when you actually keep it like this and then hit record. And the iPhone really detects it differently, because I've gotten a lot of videos that are in portrait mode, but sideways, because you turned it after you recorded. So to actually make it in landscape mode, before you hit the big red button, put it in horizontal mode and then record. And that's something I noticed. I will say, if you do it where it's in portrait mode and it's this way, it's actually very easy to put it in horizontal mode, because the app can just turn it for you. So any sort of video software can just turn it and then scale it up. And that also works. So if someone submits it in portrait sideways, you won't have to redo it. It's just, it'll take 5 seconds to redo. But I do say, really focus on making sure that it's horizontal from the beginning. So by putting it like this and then hitting record, and then it will set as horizontal. Okay, we can go back to the instructions. Great. Yeah, so centering yourself is really important. And this is another instruction that I actually just learned is actually a little bit better. So it's nice to have things in selfie mode, meaning that you can see yourself when you're recording. But it actually has better camera quality if you point it away from you. So there's two cameras on your iPhone. There's the one pointing in, and there's the one pointing out. So I, for better video quality, would actually set it up so that the phone is facing, so that the screen is facing away from you, and then the back of your phone is facing towards you, just like a normal camera. If you see any other camera with a monitor, you see that the monitor is pointing out, and then the actual back of the phone is facing towards you. So I'll show that again now that you see me. So when I'm recording, I click record, I don't want to see the screen at me. That's going to get you worse video quality. It's actually better to flip it like this. Now, if you do this, that's totally okay. It works brilliantly. This is just something if you remember, and that's the reason it's not in this instruction, because it's not essential. But that's why we get to do these things. I got to go more in detail. But if you do it this way, so it's in selfie mode and you see yourself. So right now I see myself. Hello, I'm on the video. I'm seeing my face. That's fine. This actually gets you better results if it's away from you. So if I'm recording myself like this. And with that, you might want to have someone check it, making sure that your head is centered, that the shot, there's nothing getting cut off. It's exactly what you want. And sometimes what I do, if I'm just doing it by myself, I'll set it up. Like I'll lean it on something. I actually also have like a Gorilla Pod, which is really good for holding iPhones. Just pop it here, but I'm assuming most people don't have one of these, which is fine. You can just lean it on something. I like to always like test it ahead of time. So I'll record, get myself in the frame, and then look back and check. And that takes a second. But it is helpful to have someone else just finding out your right spot, and totally like utilize whoever is in your household, wherever you are, if you have, to ask you to help out, because it makes it nicer when someone's recording you. But it's not essential. Of course, you can do it by yourself. Okay, we can go back to the instructions. Yes, so straight or slightly above your eye level. Avoid shooting under your face. Yes, you don't want it to be popping up. So just make sure to check that. So then you're going to hit record, and you're going to hit record on your phone first. You're going to do that before you start your music on your computer. And the reason for that is because at the beginning of the guide track, of all guide tracks, I believe, we have a clap. And this is a sync point. And it's really important that when you're listening to the recording, that you clap with that clap. Because what's happening is the video file that we're receiving, we're not hearing the music. We're not. It's in your headphones, remember? So it's in your headphones. We are not hearing the music. We're just seeing your video of you singing. So the question is, how are we supposed to know where you're actually singing if everyone's starting their videos at random times? And the answer is, if you don't clap, we can figure it out. It just is really frustrating to try to find out exactly where you started. So for instance, in We Return, people don't actually start singing until at least like significantly a portion through the song, Susan. Is that correct? Like
Yeah.
People aren't coming in until way later in the song. So how are we supposed to know exactly where your entrance is if you're just sitting there for 2 minutes silently without knowing? So you hear the clap, and it's really important that you clap with it. So now back to why do we start recording first? You got to start recording first because let's say you start your music first, and then you hit record, and then you didn't time it in a way so that the music's kept on playing and the clap already happened, and then you hit record and then we missed the clap. So as a fail-safe way to do it, just record yourself first, hit the record button, then press play on the music. And that way you can start the music and it's been recording the whole time, and we know guaranteed that the clap is going to get in there and it's in the beginning. So that's important, and what you're going to hear is like clap with me, 1, 2, 3, and just clap. You don't have to say 1, 2, 3. And you don't clap multiple times. You'd actually be surprised. I had one person, when they heard clap, started applauding, which doesn't do anything. So it's important. It's a single clap point, and that makes it really easy to find out exactly where to put the video, because all the clap points are the same for all the video because you're all listening to one track. So that's what makes this very helpful. And clapping is important. Please remember to clap. And then after that,
Can I just say something? The clap is very similar to when they start a movie. That's how they used to put sound to video. So it's the same.
exactly. It's exactly the same thing. When you have a bunch of different cameras all filming the same thing, how are you supposed to know where to sync them up? And that's why they have that cut and that thing. It's the same thing. Exactly. Good point. So we're essentially making our own movie, and that's what the clap is. So you hit record, then hit play on your computer, and you've already tested your song. You know it works, and you have your headphones in, so that shouldn't be complicated if you have it already set up. So now you hit record, hit play on your computer, you follow the instructions to clap, and then get ready to sing. And then it's all, after that, it's just like we're singing together. You're listening to something, you're hearing, you're singing along, and that's where the arrangement comes in. So that's the main process. And after that, the video's over, you end your recording, and now you have a video file on your phone. And that's the hardest part. I really think so. That once you do that, that's amazing. And then this last step, some people, I think, struggle with this, but we at RE Productions have tried really hard to make this as simple as possible for people. And yes, there are still glitches, but the way that we're doing it is right now, after a lot of investigation, I believe the best way to do it. And we have a submission form, and it takes you right to here. So what we've already tested with Susan, and we've been having issues, although I personally have not had so many issues with uploading directly from my phone, and you should be able to. I believe the simplest and best way to do it is by getting your phone file. So after it lands in your camera land on your phone, you don't know where it is, but it's on your phone somewhere. How do you get it to your computer? Because once it's on your computer,
photos. So just so, I mean, the easy part is it'll be in your photos. So that's the easy part.
yes, it's in your photos. But then the question is, how do you get it on your computer? And why does it need to be on my computer? It doesn't need to be on your computer at all. You can access the upload form through your phone. But the computer is the best way because that allows you to really easily rename your file. And we have a specific way that we want you to rename them. And if you don't rename it, it's actually not a big deal because we have a lot of folders, each belonging to the different song you're singing and the tempo that you're singing. So it's not the end of the world if you don't get the labeling correctly, but it's still helpful. So I'm going to show you, before we even get to how to fill this form out, because this form is pretty straightforward, but we'll walk through it. But I'm going to show you how to actually get your video off your phone onto your computer really, really easily. And I'm just going to do it right now in front of you, and I'm going to talk you through, and I'm going to try to put my phone up just so you can see. So here's my phone, my home screen. We've all seen it. You go to your photos, which is the rainbow flower thing. Now you have a list of all your videos. And Recents it just basically does it in Recents. You go all photos. And it should be the last video you just did. So if you just check, it's in chronological order. So the last video you did will be the first one you see. You just click on it. Something that I've actually had to explain to people is that, I'm sure most of you know this, but I'll say it anyways, is you see a time code. So there's all these little numbers next to a bunch of these videos. That means it's a video. If you don't see a time code, it's just a photo. And I've had some people by accident upload photos before because they didn't notice that it had the time code. And make sure it's the right time code. So if the song's 4 minutes, make sure it says around 4 minutes, maybe a little bit longer. So I just took this video by accident when I was showing you, and this is going to be the one that I uploaded. It was me of my face trying to show you how to do this. And I completely missed my face. It's a very terrible video, but it works exactly for what we're trying to do, which is get this video from my phone onto my computer. And if you have an iPhone, this is very simple. And also if you have a Google phone, you can upload to Google Photos and it should go right to your Google Drive. But for the purpose of this video, and this is what I have, I'll show you on the iPhone. So at the bottom left is a little upload thing. So it's that little box with an arrow going up. It's not the heart next to it. It's not the play in the middle. It's all there on the left. If you click that, it brings you to this screen. It checked your video for you automatically, so don't uncheck it. So see it there. It already checked it. And then it has a bunch of other devices right underneath that I've already sent things to. But then you can see it has all these different platforms of you to be able to send it. Messages, mail, Facebook, AirDrop. And AirDrop is the first one. And AirDrop looks like that, if you recall, see that. It's the very, very first one. If you click on AirDrop, that is the easiest way to get your file from your phone to your computer. And I do this all the time for all my videos. I never do things through my phone. I like my files on my computer. That's how I am. I think it's better that way because phones get confusing. Phones are for calling and also taking videos, but I like putting my storage on my computer. So I click AirDrop and it already recognizes my device, but make sure your AirDrop is turned on your computer. Your Bluetooth is turned on your computer first, because if it's not turned on your computer, then it won't work. And make sure your Bluetooth is also turned on your phone. If you don't know how to turn on your Bluetooth, I'll just go briefly into that. It's just in settings. So it's just in settings, and Bluetooth is at the very top. So you click Bluetooth and make sure it's on. And if it's on here, and it's on your computer, it should work. For whatever reason it's not working, what I always do is just restart my computer and just try to get it going again. Restarting your computer or your phone solves 90% of your problems, unless you actually have a problem. But if your Bluetooth is not working, just restart your computer and it'll probably work.
Ariel, I wanted to interrupt just one thing, because first of
Sure.
all, everybody loves you. I'm getting little comments on how fun you are, that you're doing an awesome job. So that's the first thing. But most of all, don't freak out about this moving it over to your computer step. This is truly an optional step. It will
Yes.
help me, really me, because I'm the one who has access to this Google Drive for me to see that everybody uploaded their videos. We're also going to know if you did it because Eileen's going to see whether you actually opened up the email through Constant Contact. So we have a whole bunch of levels and layers of knowing that you did it. If in the end you didn't label it and put your name on it, it's still going to have you're still connected because you did it through his form that he's going to show you next that has your name on it there. So not to worry, you can skip that step and you can bring it right over from your phone. I've done a few that way already. I've done a whole bunch of submissions, some that are labeled, some that aren't. So don't freak out about that. If that seems overwhelming, just you'll learn right now how to do the upload. It's very simple.
Yeah, and I totally agree with you, Susan. For these videos, because it just goes right through the phone, you don't have to stress about the step at all. But it is nice to know how to airdrop anyways. So if hopefully this is like a new lesson, if you don't know how to do this already, this is a helpful thing. So all you do is you just click on your device a single time, and then I get a on my computer, and now it appeared. And I'm actually going to share my screen, if that's okay. Just my desktop. So it automatically popped this thing up. I had nothing up before, and then it automatically went to my downloads, and this is what it is. So this is not named, and now the beauty of the computer, and this is why this step is not essential, but definitely cool, is you can easily rename your file just by clicking it once, and it brings you to here, and then just typing it. So everyone does it a little bit differently, but I think that we ask for the song title, so it would be We Return, and then I do an underscore, and then let's just say last name, first name.
That's
so
fine. Even just last name is fine too.
even fine, but it doesn't really matter as long as it has the song title. And if there are, for whatever reason, voice parts, so this song doesn't have specific voice parts, so you don't have to worry about it. But if it did, then I would include that. Anyways, so it has your name, and now we got this file nice and golden right in my downloads folder, and I can even keep it up here. So now, I hope everyone can also see this. So this right here, this submit here thing, is going to take you to the exact same link that Susan has already shared for you. So you don't have to have this page up. This is just the same exact thing. But I click submit here, and it brings me to the same page that you've seen. So now you can access that because it's in the instructions. And you click that, and it brings you to your source material submissions. So now I brought my downloads up, and this is exactly, I haven't touched it since it got off my AirDrop. It's just sitting right here. And this is going to be helpful when I fill out this form. So I write my first name, last name, and I'll just do the whole thing. And then my email, if I can spell it correctly. Organization, it's already filled out. Temple Beth Avodah, Avinu Malkeinu. Great, we're doing good.
So it's a drop down. Just so everybody knows it's a drop down menu.
Yes, so you'll see it. There'll be a bunch of congregations. Click Temple Beth Avodah. Avinu Malkeinu, click Avinu Malkeinu. And there's a lot of other congregations doing Avinu Malkeinu. But if they pick their right synagogue, it's going to go into their Avinu Malkeinu folder. So the minute you pick Temple Beth Avodah, this is your Avinu Malkeinu folder. So we're good if we do it this way. Now, this is just a checklist. In landscape mode, we really want to make sure you get it in that horizontal mode as opposed to vertical. Record in a quiet place. Name properly. Just check it off. Even if you're doing it on your phone, it's not the end of the world. It's going to be in the right place. So this is mainly just what we like to have for everyone, but because it's not the easiest thing to name your file on your phone, it's not important. Just check it off anyways. So now file upload. You're going to click browse, and it's going to take you here. So you can click select files from your device, which will actually take you to your folders. And we remembered mine was in my downloads folder, and it's sitting right here. But that can be confusing to some people if you don't know exactly where it is. So I just like to actually have this up. By the way, if you're ever wondering how I'm just randomly bringing things up and you're a Mac user, this is just a bonus lesson because you have me for this period of time. You can easily switch between apps by clicking Command Tab. and it brings you to this, and you can switch between your apps. So all I'm doing is Command Tab, and I bring it up, and now I have it here. I'm just going to drag it. Just click and drag, and just drop it in. And you click Upload right here. So right now, it hasn't actually uploaded. This doesn't mean anything. This is just it recognizing that you want to upload it. You have to click this button. You click it, and this one's going to take not a long time because it was an 8-second video. If you see it taking forever, that's okay. It's a huge video file. Let it take forever. These things are not easy to transfer, and it's not going to upload in a second. We haven't developed technology yet that's going to be fast enough for that. Now, then you click Submit, and I will submit this, but although that will be confusing because we're just going to see this random 8-second video in the folder, but I'll remove it afterwards, so no worries. And then you submit, and it's loading. Let it load. Be patient with this. And then there you go. And then we said, thank you, Ariel Weiner, your file for Alvino Malcano. And if you don't get this message, we probably didn't get it. And you're also going to get an email confirmation. So you have two, because we submitted your email. So you have 2 ways to know for sure that it went through. You got to get this message, and you'll get an email confirmation.
So Ariel, they don't have to have an Apple computer to do this because somebody asked. I know you're talking about Apple stuff. These are some Apple shortcuts, but you can download it from wherever your phone. It doesn't have to be an Apple product.
It does not. And I actually wish in times like these, because I know how to use PCs, that I have a PC and a Mac, and I can show you between the two. But for the purposes of what I actually have, I have to teach through Mac. But you can do the same thing. It's actually even easier to upload things to Google Drive and upload things to Forms via PC if you use a PC. And especially through your phone. Like the challenging thing, and the reason that we're not uploading directly to a Google Drive folder is because iPhones actually make it kind of confusing. Google phones are easier. And to fill out through a form, it's the same exact process if you have PC, non-Apple products. So I wouldn't worry about that. And if there are any questions, of course, I can try to answer. But ideally, there'd be someone, Susan, that you would have helping out with the PC side of things. If people are having confusion using a PC or anything that's a non-Apple product.
I'd like to actually say. So I don't want to spend a lot of time with questions. I want to do just a couple of minute Q&A.
Okay.
I do want to let you know that Sherry Lookner, who's on this call, is one of the deputized tech helpers, and she's done a whole bunch of these for her school choir. So do you see Sherry? So I'm going to probably get Sherry. I'm going to email. There she is. But Sherry, is it all right if I share your email if anybody gets stuck? And then you get in touch with her and she'll help you. Eileen, of course, is, the guru of everything tech, but I thought we would try to, have some of our own people try to do it. And I also have Ann Kalis, who's done a few, and she's offered to help as well. So if you need help in any uploading fashion, you can ask her, and they've already done the process, so they might just talk you through it. But if anybody just has right now in their minds a couple questions, let's just take 3 or 4 questions, and then I want to spend the rest of this meeting just going through the forms of the songs. They're again very simple. We picked songs that will work really easily for you guys without a lot of rehearsal, things you already know. But does anybody have any particular questions? Stacy, I see.
When's our due date?
Okay, so I'm going to tell you that we would like you to have all of your stuff in by August, let's say 12th. I'm going to say August 12th. So do it this week. There is a little bit of wiggle room, but we want to have a little extra time just in case we need to bug you. I think that's a good way to put it. So yeah, I forgot to put that in, but as we send out reminders, we'll add the due date. Okay, the other thing I wanted to add for everybody is the We Return's a little bit more complicated, and the Venu Malcanu is very simple. If you decide it feels very overwhelming, I'm still going to encourage you to do the Venu Malcanu. That's the easy one. And that one we can help talk you through. And Eileen has even offered that if you are feeling uncomfortable about the whole filming thing, she will film you at Temple singing that piece. But just that one, because it would take a lot of her time. So if you're feeling like you can handle all this, then do both pieces. But we did give a number of 30, and we actually have 35 or more singers. So if a few people don't do one of them, it's okay. Okay, so any other questions?
Yeah, there's a couple. One was dress code.
So I'm going to say the same thing I always say for choir stuff, to look nice. Preferably don't wear a dress that's very busy, because you don't want to stand out. You want to blend. I'm not expecting you to wear black and white like choir either, but I would say if you're a gentleman and you're wearing a shirt, you don't have to wear a tie. But if you feel like wearing a shirt and tie and a jacket, absolutely, and shorts underneath, because we won't know. But I would say, muted colors, look nice. Don't be too bright. How's that?
Okay, another question. Can you airdrop to a non-Apple? Just email it instead. Yeah, you can email. You can do a link to email to yourself. That's one of the choices. And then also, can you use a regular camera to take a video? I'm assuming it's a video camera is the question. And what format, Ariel, do you have to have it in?
Yeah, so it should be, yeah, as long as it's 1080p 920, like that's fine. And then just send it as the MOV file. And if you want to get it off your camera, you just use your memory card. And hopefully, since you have it, if you're using a camera, you have a place to put your memory card on your computer. So I have
Okay, so this is a Canon camera, not a video camera. But does a Canon camera take video? That's the question. And if it does, then you can take your camera card out and put it in your computer and upload that file, right?
Yeah, I mean, if it's a Canon camera, just check that it can record. And if it can't record, don't use it. If it can, go for it and just take
I'd
your.
actually like to suggest that the people who are thinking about doing that they might actually talk to Eileen about having her film them, because it'll be very, very simple if we can just have one day when you're at the temple for a few hours that she's already figured out how to do it safely, and you'll essentially do everything. She'll just set it up for you. You'll just push the button and record.
Yeah, and if you're really capable with your camera.
I think that's because I had the feeling there'd be a few people who might need a little help, and so it's probably, I see Joyce that you had asked, and it's totally fine. So you just have to get in touch with Eileen. Well, Eileen, you'll have the names of a few people to reach out to after.
Yep.
So that way we know we'll get a really good video and the quality we want. Does that work for you, Joyce? Excellent. I'm excited. Anybody, any more questions, specific questions? All right.
Oh, sorry, it's Lauren. I was just going to ask, you're obviously going to edit it out like the before and after when we're pressing the button and that kind of thing.
Absolutely, we will be.
Oh yeah, I'm always like doing this, a lot of fixing myself before. So, yeah, once it goes go, you want to look like yeah,
you're fine. Don't worry about it. We'll edit you to the perfect moment when you start singing.
And remember, Ariel's, it's not going to look like one movie where you see everybody all the time. One of the cool things about using these videos, the production part of it is you might be in it for a minute and then you may get pulled out. And then you may look like your face is moving across the screen and somebody else is coming in. So if there's like a bad moment where you just really look bad, I think the producers will make sure that you're not seen during that moment, including me.
Correct.
So, right?
Absolutely. And something that I do want to show you about sort of how this is going to look like, I think We Return might be different. But so for our basic video model, and the way it kind of works, we put everyone in a grid. So everyone's in one giant screen, but then we treat it like a camera. So we move in and we zoom in on some people, and then we slowly move throughout. So it sort of opens up this big space of people singing. And we also have some other shots. So it's going to look really nice. And we're going to make sure that if you're not looking good for 1 second or a few seconds, you're not going to be on screen. We'll show your best moments.
Oh, and I do actually, the last thing I want to say, and then I want to let Ariel go, and we're going to take just a few minutes to practice a few things. It's hard to practice online, but we will. If you have gotten through the whole song and you come to a note near the end and you say, darn, I really messed up that note, you can just leave it. Because the cool thing also is Ariel has this ability to just take your voice out for that second. Yes. So it's really cool. Like, the good thing about virtual is if there's a part that doesn't work, it's out, and that's okay. And I'm sure I've had a few mess ups on my end as well. I won't tell you how many hours I spent making a guide track for a different song recently. So, because mine really had to be sound like it had to be perfect because people were singing with me. But if you the point is, don't get hypercritical. Don't worry if everything isn't perfect. We just want you to have a great time and sing along. We want you to pretend you're a temple with your arms around everybody, with your pretend you're sitting with your family and you're singing. That's the whole feel of this. So try to put yourself in that space of like just being a part of it. Try to take the movie aspect out of it a little.
Yeah, thank you. That's
Yeah.
great. All right, so I think that's all for me. I hope that I was helpful in any way. It was really exciting to be able to talk to you people.
Super
because I
helpful,
definitely feel-
Ariel. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I definitely feel part of this community, so I was very happy and honored to be able to talk to you about how to do these. So thank you so much.
We love Ariel. We can thank you.
This is going to sound really good. This is going to be really cool. And I'm excited.
All right. So I see some of the questions. I'm going to say goodbye to Ariel, and we're going to just continue. I don't want to keep you for a long time, but the Avinu Malkeinu will be like a 5-minute run through and spend a little bit longer on We Return. Eileen, you probably saw some of the questions. I think some of those questions can probably be, you might be able to answer some of them. They were kind of tech.
Yeah, I did. I think we covered them. But if anyone has any questions, they can reach out to me too.
Okay.
Just
All
send me an
right.
email.
So what we're going to do first is we're going to show you the roadmap. And I know that all of you already opened up the email that we sent last week, right? And we're going to show you the roadmap for Avinu Malkeinu. And I know Jennifer Schaefer, I know Jillian's really wanted to come down and say hello. So it's okay if she does. Because she hears our voice and doesn't want to go to bed. So here we have Avinu Malkeinu. I'm just going to, oopsie. I'm seeing the map. Okay. So the way I did it was when you're singing, you're blue. And when you're not singing, obviously, it tells you not to sing. So we're gonna play through this song in just a minute, but you can see it. I'm gonna say, everybody clap with me. 1, 2, 3, and we all clap together. And then you're going to hear the entire A section. So what I mean by the whole A section is and then you'll hear me singing. So I'm your guide. So whenever I'm singing, you should be singing too. On this particular song, you're just going to sing with me. If you're feeling ambitious and you feel like harmonizing, you're welcome to, but you're also welcome just to sing with me. I am singing unison. So we sing through the A section, then we sing through the B section, the Aseh Manu Tzedakah v'Chesed, okay, through the end of that. And then we go back to the A, just the same way we sing at a temple all the time. It's just an ABA. The only thing different is that I made the introduction a little longer because we're going to also have Eugene playing violin, and I wanted to give him a little moment to shine. So I'm going to play it over my screen, and you can't really hear me, but I want you to you all have your microphones off, but I welcome you to sing along, okay? Is there a way for you to, Eileen, for you to follow along the words, or just people will follow it?
You mean like this?
Yeah, like I'm doing it myself on my screen.
I will try to.
Yeah, you can. You don't have to.
I don't read or speak any.
So everybody knows, is there anybody that is uncomfortable with the words for Avinu Malkeinu? And I can't see that many of you, so I'm going to assume that we're all good on this one. All right, here it comes. Of course. See, just like he said. Clap with me. 1, 2, 3, clap.
Time. Connected to Susan's iPhone.
So then you hear nothing for a second. So I can do it again. It wasn't on. I'm going to try again. My volume wasn't up.
clap with me. 1, 2, 3, clap.
Now we get ready to sing.
Avinu Malkeinu, Avinu Malkeinu, Avinu Malkeinu, Hanenu v'Hanenu, Ki ein banu ma'asim, Aseh imanu, Tzedakah v'chesed, Aseh imanu, Tzedakah v'chesed, V'hoshi'enu. Avinu Malkeinu, Avinu Malkeinu, Avinu Malkeinu, Hanenu v'Hanenu, Ki ein banu ma'asim.
You may have actually heard that at the very end, I sang harmony. So you're welcome to sing the melody or the harmony there. So that's the Avinu Malkeinu. We're done with that. Do you want to go back to the main screen and we'll ask if anybody has questions on Avinu Malkeinu?
Susan, I have a question. This is Tony. Hi.
Hi. Oh, hi, Tony.
So I thought that Ariel just said we don't clap until right before we start singing, but you're saying that we clap and then we listen to the whole intro?
So you're going to clap wherever it says to clap. So for Ariel, the clap means that all of our videos will be in sync because the amount of time that we wait is going to be the same for everybody.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yep. And then
So
the words, the Hebrew words that are in black font, those
The
are
Hebrew-
not going to be sung or by
No,
anybody, or
the Hebrew, the Hebrew, I just gave you the Hebrew if you prefer to read it in Hebrew.
oh, okay,
The sheet had Hebrew and English on it, just for some people prefer to look at Hebrew.
got it. Thanks.
But the blue was really just the song sheet you're following along to.
Okay.
So this one is a kind of this one isn't really the hard one. I'm calling this anybody can be in the virtual choir. Everybody can sing unison. There's no repeats. There's no harmonies unless you want to add it. So I think does anybody have any other questions on that? Okay, so now we're going to go to We Return. And before I play it, I just want to go through the guide with you.
Do you want me to put that up, Susan?
Yes, can you do that? That would be awesome. Okay, so I just want to get it, again, I don't know how many people, only can see 5 people, but have most of you listened to it at least? Have you listened to the download? So you'll hear from the download the same thing, Tony. Noah has you clap with him, but then you're not going to actually come in until the second A, which is the second We Return. He sings the whole first verse by himself. He'll be featured in the video at the beginning, and then all of a sudden, you know, we'll all be popping in. It'll be awesome. We become this cool chorus around him. So there is a long period at the beginning, but again, if you clap in the right spot and you let your video run, don't worry if you're fixing your hair or doing stuff, you won't be shown until we come in. All right, so not to worry about that part. You can dance, you can do whatever you want. So what I said, and I even say it in my instructions, I say clap after me, and then just before we come in, I actually, on the guide track, I say, now choose to sing the melody or the harmony, the echo, that is. So at part of the song, Noah just decided to record it the way he wanted to, and he sent me the guide track, and most of the song, he was singing harmony. And I was like, oh no, now I need to add my voice over it because I need to add the melody. So sometimes I'm singing melody and sometimes I'm singing the echo, depending on, I'm doing whatever Noah isn't doing. Okay, you don't always have to sing with me. I'm really letting you be free. We've sung this song several times. If you want to be really, really, you know, If you want to just pick a part, you can say, I'm always going to sing the echo every single time, or I'm always going to sing with Susan or Noah at the beginning. If you want to mix it up, that's fine too. And some of you who are really good singers, if you want to add harmonies, I welcome that as well. So you can see we have the A part I want everybody to sing on. And then the B part, Eileen, can you scroll up a little bit? Well, I guess that's it. The B part is the Hebrew. And the reason I put it in black is it's really optional. And if your Hebrew isn't so great, I would prefer you not sing it because I want it to sound really clear. So practice that a lot. If you want to sing the Hebrew, please join me. If not, come back in on the yalalai part. Okay? So now we're up to the C. Remember the yalalai, lai, 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 yalalai, lai, 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 yalalai. And so what we did last year was we sang yalalai, nine, lai, lai, lai. Noah sings all over the place. Yalai, nai, nai. He just did a whole bunch of different things. I made an executive decision that we are singing yai, lai, lai, nai, nai, nai. Every time. Yai, lai, lai, nai, nai, nai. Every time. Okay? Because I want us to sound the same. So, and if you do a couple lies by accident, not to worry. All right? And then we come to the last part. It's a little slower. We return. And you can see I'm actually asking you that I only want you to do the echoes. See there? On that one, I'm asking you where to sing. And then the last part goes, we return again and again. And we're all going to sing. Don't sing two, because it will be hard to match Noah. Just sing you. He'll go to you. Then we sing you, you. And then we go out and he sings the last line. So that's the form. The blue I want you in. The black Hashivenu is completely optional. And if it says don't sing, I'd rather you wouldn't sing. If you forget that, then our producers will probably just take you out of those spots, but it's easier if you haven't sung. So can we just go to questions on that before we practice it? Does anybody have any questions? I guess it's hard to ask questions unless you've heard it. If there's anybody that hasn't heard it, I'm going to ask you to refrain from asking questions. So I think once you sing it through, I told my daughter, Alana, who's joining us, just to play it in her car a million times until she just knows it and she won't have to look at anything and she'll just sing along and have fun.
I've got a question.
Sure, Neil.
I noticed that during part of it, you and Noah were singing together and he was singing a harmony that I couldn't quite make out. Do you want us to not sing that? Do you want us to try to sing that? Do you have a separate track for that?
So here's what I say about if Noah is singing a special harmony, let's let him be the harmonizer.
Got it.
I'm never singing harmony in this one. I'm sometimes doing the echo, or I'm sometimes doing I'm doing like the we return before the echo. But I was always singing the melody part. I would prefer the choir sing the melody.
Great, glad I asked.
Yeah, there are a couple of people who've been singing this with me for a long time and just automatically sing harmonies, and they're welcome to add harmonies as well, but don't try to find Noah's harmony necessarily. Okay. If you do sing a harmony, then make sure that you've practiced it and it sounds good with whatever Noah's singing, okay? And the cool thing is you could record yourself singing and then you could play the track at the same time when you watch yourself back. And if you see it really doesn't work, then try something different. All right, so okay. I'm just gonna play through it one more time. We almost don't need this part because hopefully you've done this at home. And then I think we'll kind of end the meeting because we've been together for a while, and again, I so appreciate your being with me when you can't sing. So can we stay in this gallery mode so I can see your faces? Oh no, we can't because you need the words. Sorry. All right, we're gonna go to We Return.
Although I can put the words as a link, I think, and then people could open it up on a separate screen and maybe do it. So, you want to try that?
Let's try it. Let's try it that way, and then how many of you have sung this with me before, just by a show of hands? if it's not a new song for you. So I know, Nikki, this is kind of after your time, but you'll pick it up really quickly. But we've been singing this. It was just written by Alana Arian, and it's really Alana and Noah's song together. And it was written by Alana, probably, was it 2 summers ago, maybe 3. And they posted it about a month before the high holidays, and I fell in love with it, and we learned it right away. So that has been kind of our anthem, and it will play throughout the high holidays. Sometimes it'll be us singing, and sometimes it'll just be us, Rabbi and I, and whoever's singing live. So it won't always sound the same every time. Okay, so here we go.
Let's clap. 1, 2, 3, clap.
So make sure you clap with Noah at the same time.
We return.
You don't sing that.
We return. We return, return again. We return.
I've actually pulled this up on my desktop.
We
return. Song at the same time.
We return, return again and again to love.
Okay, everybody, you're going to join me or repeat with Noah. We return, we return, we return, return again. We return, we return, we return, return again and again to truth. We return, we return, we return, we return, we return, return again. We return, we return, we return, return again and again to you. We return
right. I have to tell you, I'm sitting here like very, very verklempt. I couldn't hear you, but I could hear you all because I could really see you trying to sing. It was so beautiful. So I'm just really imagining how when we're all actually singing and they put it together, it's going to be amazing. So I don't know, I feel like really, really choked up. I wish we could be together because you know me, I'm always like getting you closer and closer and closer to we're really, really close and listening to each other. So I don't know how you do that, but while you're singing, try to imagine yourself blending. So obviously the nice thing about engineering is they can make you blend because our instructor, our producers will make us as loud as soft as we need to be. But I think if you focus on your blend from the start, you'll stay in tune and you'll sound great. One thing Ariel didn't tell you was if you wear 2 earphones, there's a tendency to sing flat. It's very hard to hear yourself and also hear the track. So I suggest that you kind of take one out of your ear and only listen through one, because then you can also hear yourself. If you've ever been to a karaoke bar or something and you kind of hear it and you can't really hear yourself, and if you go back and listen later, you sounded like you were flat. That's happened for me too, so we all do. So that's the one suggestion, a little tip I can give you. So Jennifer already did hers. Do you want it, and you didn't do the Hebrew part. Do you want to say anything about the experience? I saw that you uploaded your video.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely like less difficult than I thought it was going to be. I'm technologically impaired, so the fact that I was able to do it, I think it worked, is telling, and I think you should give those who are less technologically savvy some hope. But yeah, no, it was fun, and I think the hardest part really was just finding a good spot in the house to put the backdrop. But I'm happy to help if anybody wants to email me or text me if you need any tips. I'm definitely no expert, but I'd be thrilled to help in any way I can.
I found that being in my daughter's room is a good spot because she's got a lot more empty walls. So I've tended to go in front of her room, and then I've moved over dressers and bureaus to get everything at the right height. I mean, you can only imagine the various setups I've set up here. So yeah, so that makes sense. And so again, there I see Amanda and Sherry was sitting next to her. So the Lookners, I'll say both Amanda and Sherry will be your tech aides if you need them. I know you've done a bunch of these at school, right? Okay. Has any of the other kids done these? Nikki, have you made any already?
No, I have not. No.
I don't know if any of you remember, but Nikki, along with Jossie Rodenstein, at one point was a head song leader. So it's so nice having you back. Okay, well, let's just leave this with a few, if there's any more last questions, and otherwise I'm going to say you're on. It's time to start doing it. And any other questions before I give you a go?
I just want to say I recorded this and I will send out the link tomorrow. So if anyone wants to go back and look at the screens, like when Ariel was going through the process of what to do, you can go back and
Thank you.
And if I know there are a lot of people who didn't make it to the meeting, and they'll probably be the ones who are asking our tech helpers, what do I do? But now you are all experts, so you could help anybody. Eileen, if anybody's feeling really anxious about doing the movie, get in touch with Eileen. She'll figure out a time to record you. Okay? And then you'll be all set and you can be in it too.
Susan?
All right.
Can I suggest that you make sure that you mail out the tip about the single earpiece?
I will. I think we need to do a follow-up email, Eileen, with the recording, with also one tip about using one earphone and also the date they're due.
Yeah, and the dress code, because not everybody probably even will listen to this whole meeting, but.
I did say it on it to look nice. And again, you don't have to be, sometimes the teens have looked like gray and brown. In some ways, being a little bit more colorful is nice on this because, people are going to be watching it on their TVs. I just wouldn't want you to be wearing like a very patterned dress. If you had a lot going on, a colorful tie would be fine. All right, so I think that's it. I think I'm done with everybody. I want to wish you luck. Thank you for singing with us tonight and being with us. And and if I could just, if Anne doesn't mind staying on for a couple of minutes with Jennifer after we hang up. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, Eileen, for being our tech person. If you go out,